Starting a business while employed sucks. It's really, really difficult to balance the pressures of a 9 to 5 job whilst at the same time trying to do something creative, which takes an enormous amount of mental energy in addition to raw time. It is a difficult, difficult thing to do. And that can lead you to think that because you're stuck in the 9 to 5 grind, there's no way to start your business, there's no way to get the economic independence and freedom that you crave. And so you continue to watch ads at the beginning of your YouTube videos saying that hustling one way or another, Amazon affiliate links or whatever else, is the ticket to freedom. And there's people prancing on beaches with their laptops claiming that you too can be free for very little effort. You can't. And if you can, then it's a scam, and or you're the one scamming somebody else. That's my pronouncement on that anyway. It takes effort, and it's worth it. When I was working at Monticello College, there's a gap. Like many school teachers, there's an off semester, an off time, and for us that was over the winter. And I, the first year, really thought that this was my moment to create my business. I had a Maslow CNC machine, and I was convinced that I could make some products that I could sell profitably online. And I had these ideas for what I was going to do. And so I was going to throw myself into prototyping when I didn't have to work because I had this break. And I thought this is my perfect golden opportunity. And then my wife and I looked at the numbers for our household income and realized I needed a job to cover the shortfall. And so I got a job doing construction and came home every day exhausted, very disheartened. I was petulant is probably the right word about the idea of working, and instead of working on my prototypes and trying to get independent, I was going to be right into the daily grind. Instead of building the independence that I craved, I was going to be working again. And I wasn't going to get this break. I wasn't going to get this time where I could dedicate myself 100% to, creating a business, which is a hard thing to do. And I threw a little bit of a temper tantrum for a day or two where I was like, this is so unfair. Can't we just take a hit and go into debt so that I can have this time? And on reflection, I came to the obvious conclusion that it would be better for me to provide for my family whilst at the same time I was building this business. But I actually think there's some value to this. If you are going to be independent, let's say that you do run your own business. Let's say you do run your own business. Let's say that you have this freedom that you desire. Are you capable of freedom? I mean, are you able to handle it? And what does freedom entail? It means that no one's telling you where to go. No one's telling you what to do. Oh my goodness, isn't that such a relief? It is, but things still need to get done. And without that support structure that you find in work, in your employment, which can make you feel like a slave, but a lot is given to you structurally to kind of dictate what you're doing and when you're going to be doing it. Between the hours of 9 and 5, you know what you're going to be doing. If you work for yourself, you don't. You choose. So one of the ways of building the muscles that are necessary in order to have that freedom and to handle it well, I think, is actually by building your business whilst at the same time you're fully employed. If you can hold a 9 to 5 job and use those little snippets of time, getting up early or staying up a little bit late, and working on your own stuff. And if you can do that successfully while keeping above water, handling your job reasonably well and fulfilling your responsibilities, I think that is actually really good training for becoming a freelancing, independent person. So starting a business while holding a job sucks. It's unpleasant, it's miserable, it can feel like things are falling through the cracks constantly. But like exercise, which also sucks, it makes you stronger. And it makes you stronger specifically in your ability to dictate what you are going to be doing with your time. So that when the weights come off, as it were, and when you're able to drop that 9 to 5 job, You have trained yourself to be able to do hard things and to set your priorities and to determine what you will and will not do. When you're working a 9 to 5 and trying to fit your side hustle thing, whatever that is, into the hours, that are not 9 to 5, squeezing it into the cracks and still sleeping, you can't do everything. You have to be picky. You have to triage. And that's also a skill that you carry forward. That's why starting a business while working a 9 to 5 is a good thing to do, even though it is miserable in many ways. I've been thinking a lot about this. I think that independence that you desire is a natural desire. I think it is a good thing, and I think you do deserve it. I also think that before you can have it, you need to be the kind of person who can handle it. And so do what you can now to become the kind of person who can have it then. And that might mean being a lot better at how you use your time, specifically the time when you're not at work and when nothing and no one is telling you exactly what you need to be doing. If this video is valuable to you, please hit the like button and subscribe below. And please leave a comment below about your own side hustle or the dream project that you would love to see become a reality. I look forward to reading your comments, and I hope that you are successful. By way of sharing some of the rest of the story, the CNC machine business was a total bust. It did not work out. My numbers, although they made sense in my head, in reality didn't. But I learned some really useful things about 3D design. And then I was actually able to make a couple of products with my 3D printer that were able to be profitable for me. And just so happened that while I was developing these things whilst at the same time being employed, it was very lucky because I lost my job. So with this really fledgling business that was barely making enough money to provide for rent, I was able to provide for rent. It was absolutely miraculous. So it turned out reasonably well. As of right now, I am gainfully employed. I work as an attorney, and I'm really grateful for my job, particularly because it allows me a little bit of flexibility to work on things myself. Someday I would love to just work for myself, but in the meantime, I'm going to be building those muscles too.